We are back with Simon Freakley. Welcome back. Good to see you, sir. Thank you.
Great to see you, Richard.
Now, where are we? What do you expect this resolution will look like? Because to have gone through the pain of these tariffs, one would at least hope or expect a proper agreement, not some nonsense that just will fall apart at the first whiff of grape shot.
Well, you know, as we said a minute ago, it is an old-fashioned negotiation. Both sides are taking firm positions, the rhetoric's going up, but it will get resolved. It has to get resolved for both sides.
OK, but when China talks about the US is using economic terrorism, the Chinese have a bit of terrorism of their own if they wish to, namely the rare earths.
Yes.
They can employ these rare earths, which is in just about every device in the world, and they have the majority of them within their borders.
Yes, and of course China have been working for years to capture, really corner the rare earth element market. They've been investing for multiple years to make sure that they have control of that, and we do need them. So I think there are several forces that are driving a resolution to this. 25% tariffs on 200 billion of goods sounds a lot, but actually it's small in the context of what trade does go on between the two countries. The big question, I think, and I speak to our clients all the time about this is just another distraction, another disruption. You think about the disruptions that many of our US corporates and global corporates are dealing with, you know, whether it's changing consumer preferences, whether it's the impact of artificial intelligence, whether it's regulatory, or if you're UK or have a UK operation, Brexit. This is just another distraction, another disruption. So I think corporates generally want to get this tied down so they can focus on driving their businesses forward.
Let's just talk about Brexit, since you raised it briefly, if we may. The Tory party is now engaged. I had a lovely discussion point. Somebody said they're now engaged in discussing which sort of cyanide to take. I mean, how bad is the situation as seen from business now that there is a leadership election on Brexit and there's still the 31st date in the future?
Well, the two timetables, of course, are adjacent. So there's the decision on the exit from the EU and there's a decision on a new leader for the Conservative Party. Theresa May was in office but not in power. She had to step down. She'll step down on June the 10th. What will then follow quickly is an election of a new leader.
But your clients are telling you what? That they're worried?
What my clients tell me all the time is that this is just another distraction, another disruption. So getting these...
OK, sorry to interrupt you, forgive me. But why are these disruptions any worse than, as Harold Macmillan is reputed to have said, you know, what do you worry about? Events, dear boy, events.
Events, dear boy. Well, of course, what we used to worry about was economic cycles. We'd worry about when the cycle would turn. We'd look at our quarterly data to say, is a recession coming? But, of course, now, disruption cycles are not just much more regular than economic cycles, they're much more severe. If you have a disruption cycle that coincides with a change in the economic cycle, then businesses have some real challenges. And what my clients tell me all the time, Richard, is what they want to do is to make sure that some of these distractions are taken off the table so they can focus on a strategy and execute it.
Isn't that naive? In the sense that you take one distraction off and it'll be something else. It's not so much the distractions, surely, that's significant here. It's the gravity and the seriousness. They're existential.
Well, they are. So let's take the automotive industry, for instance. What's happening with autonomous vehicles, what's happening with electric vehicles is the investment required to position an enterprise to survive in that environment is very significant. So you see, you know, the proposed mergers that are being discussed, that's really all about aggregating investment and focus to survive in a rapidly changing world.